Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome Innocent. Welcome Isaiah. Welcome Kelani Sunday. Welcome Kate. Welcome Essay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's going to be an interesting day today. I have with me PhET African Ambassador Zach Mbasu from Kenya. He's going to take lead today. Last week I took lead, I and Rebecca. Today, Zach is going to take lead today. Before Zach, comes and show us his lovely African Kenyan face. Anyway, I have a question for him because I've never seen a fair Kenyan before, so I have a question for him. Zach, I hope you are ready for me. I know you're going to laugh, Zach. Okay. Before we get on, let's have some fun. An icebreaker today. And my icebreaker is it was a question I asked randomly in the last meeting. But I want to ask us this. If we, like right now, Saturday morning, we wake up to a check, not even a check, it's in our account balance, $1 million. What will you do with it? Let me see your responses in the chat box. $1 million on a beautiful Saturday morning. What will you do with it? Let me see your answers in the chat box. Good morning, everyone. Haven't seen any response. It said, okay, I see oh, I see Kelani Sunday says, take out my tithe and offering. Okay, good. Oh, Emeka says, build a fence around my village. Okay, I think I saw the same response last week. Oh, nice. I'm going to actually ask him why. Why does he want to build a fence around his village? Okay, maybe later that will be for. Zach says he's going to fly to Miami, Miami for holiday. Zach, is this only you or with your family? I'm sure you only want yourself and your wife, right? Bisola says, establish my dream school and build a charity home for the less privileged. Great. Kate says, time to fulfill all my dreams. Dreams don't land with that. What are your dreams? Sometimes I think we need to have projects at mind before we even get that money. Because when we get that money, we can actually get confused on what to do with it. Happy says, investment part, set up an educational fund. Great. Malon says, pay my debts. Great. And invest the rest to education XD. Good. Mrs. Peter says, I will invest it wisely. What investment will you do? And build a philanthropic school. Good. Aduko Good Luck says, build a massive school that can include all the less privileged children. Great, 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 great responses we have here. Great one, great, great. Welcome everyone as you join. Let me know what you're going to do with $1 million. Okay, in the chat box. Let me see your response. Amudu says, after paying my tithe, we will sit and allocate the money to the projects on ground, including vacation. Everyone wants to go on a vacation, which is great, Good, good. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this early. Thank you so much. This shows your passion towards not only your self-development, but also to your students. That's what this shows, you being here. So welcome. Mine says build home for aged people and less privileged. Yes, aged people. Yes. I see that. I think is it Asia is also having this problem of old people. Younger people don't want to take care of old people. There's a problem now. There are a lot of old people and the government is looking for ways to cater for them. And in Nigeria, it's just that we have a young generation now. But let's say in how many years to come, there will be a lot of old people, and no one is really looking into it, how to take care of older people, because you see around, anyway, we have an African culture that we, the kids, we will take care of elderly, our parents and all that. But the way this generation is going, the way, you know, the drive for money and all that, just like in China, people don't go to visit their parents again. So old people is very critical, very, very critical. Okay, Hassan says, set up an educational fund and invest the rest. Joel says, having paid my tithe, I'm going to set up my own standard school. You use all $1 million on a school. Wow. Okay, great. Great one. Great one.
Hello?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you mute your
Hello, I
microphone?
can't hear anyone.
We can hear you. But mute your microphone, please. Okay. So welcome, welcome everyone. I'm going to give the floor now to Zach. Zach, let's see you, please. Zach, are you there? Aha. Unmute your microphone, please.
Hi, Blessing. Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Okay. So I'll introduce to you all Zach Mbasu. Is a maths genius. Okay. It's part of the African Maths Initiative, and he's from Kenya, and he's the PhET ambassador, and he's fully for STEM, fully for STEM. I know after this, I would introduce, maybe I would set up maybe a seminar for our maths teachers. He has a lovely statistical software that can teach kids maths and make them enjoy maths. That's apart from PhET. Anyway, there are several programs we're going to be running. Apart from really learning PhET simulations, there are several programs we're going to be running to help STEM teachers and also other teachers. I would later in the day introduce you to a Facebook group I've made for Nigerian teachers, okay, to share resources and help us in our professional development. Okay, so Zach is going to take us through today's session. It's going to clear all our questions. If you had any challenges in the last week doing your assignments and all, Zach is also going to treat that and take us through activity design for this week and show us the assignments for this week. Zach, over to you.
Thank you so much, Blessing. And thanks everyone for sparing time to join this meeting of sharing and of learning from one another. My name is Zach Mbasu. I am based in Kenya, and I work together with Blessing and other people on PhET interactive simulations. I am responsible for enhancing access and impact of PhET simulations on the continent, and I'm really excited to be here this morning. So in today's session, first we are going to start with your questions. So I'll try as much as possible to address all the questions related to the course. And then after that, we'll have a short session about activity design, which is the next phase that you're going to into the course. So I will just by opening the floor and allowing you to either unmute and ask your question or type your questions that you have that are related to the course and that are related to the PhET on the chat box, and then I'll try as much as possible to address them. So if you have a question or a challenge that is related to the course, your time is now. I will just leave the floor open for you to ask those questions, and then we'll try as much as possible to address those questions. So do we have anyone with a question that is related to the course that we can address while we are here together?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please, I'm Mr. Williams. Actually, I registered for this thing when it actually started, but I wasn't able to be part of the first workshop. So I just want to know if it would be possible for me to go back there, go through it, and do all my assignments. And that's just my question, sir. Thank you.
Very good question, Williams. So let me share my screen and just try to see particularly where you are. So I believe let me go back to here and then go to last, and then just check. Would you mind telling me your name, please? Your email address or name, please?
Okay, sir. I don't know if I should test it or I should just say it verbally. Idibia Williams.
Okay. So are you
Idibia
able
Williams 2.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Hello?
Yes. Yes, please.
Yes,
are you able to see my
this.
screen?
I can see it. Yes.
So this is your name, right?
I can see your screen.
Yes.
Sir?
This last name
This is my
here.
name, right?
Yes. So what this means is that you are in the course and you can be able to go back and proceed with your course.
Okay, sir.
Awesome. Good. Good. Thank you, Williams. Do we have someone else with a question?
Yes. Hello, my name is Jumai Amodu.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I attempted the course, the first one, though I struggled through it. To begin with, my area of specialization, which is agricultural science, is not simulated, so I had to use biology. And eventually I got 50%, which I'm not happy about. Is it possible for me to retake the course again, the introductory part?
Of course, yes, you can retake the course. And the fact that you don't like agriculture simulations does not mean that you're not from it. I believe that the strategies in the course can also be applied to agriculture or any other subject. So feel free to go back, redo it, and if you have questions or if you are struggling with anything, just raise it and we'll try as much as possible to support you through the course.
Okay, so where do I raise the complaints?
So I will let me drop you my email address. Let me just drop it in the chat box. You can also post it in the WhatsApp group, and we will pick it up. And
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Good.
Okay.
Gertrude Chakwera, I see your hand is raised up.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm okay, Rachel. This is my first time of attending the class, and I don't know if I...
You're supposed to be invited to the course, so did you receive like an invite to the course?
I received an email that invited me to join the group.
Okay, but did you join the course?
I didn't receive an email to join the course, but it's a group of WhatsApp.
So, Blessing, would you mind dropping the Google form in the WhatsApp group so that she can fill her details and move back to us, please?
Okay, I will do that now.
Awesome. So we will invite you to the course. We'll send you an email right after this call. Then we will invite you to the course. And then once you join the course, you'll be able to access assignments.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Rachel?
It's me.
Okay, awesome. Happy
I thought it was almost immediately that I would get to see it.
Great question, Happy. So when you do the assignments and you submit your assignments, the other participants, course participants and teachers are supposed to do a peer review for your activity. And once they have done that peer review, you should be able to get your grading, but also you are also supposed to also do peer reviews for 3 other participants. So as you submit yours, you should also do peer reviews for other 3 participants. If you do not do reviews for other participants, then you will not be graded. So the other participants grade you, and you also grade the other participants. So if you are not able to do that, I would suggest that you go back and also do the peer reviews, and then you should be able to see your grade. In that first course, there is the first assignment, which is just identifying a PhET simulation. And then there is the follow-up assignments, which you're supposed to select only one, and you're supposed to create either an activity in concept questions, or an activity in interactive lecture demonstration, or an activity in whole class inquiry, just one of the 3. And once you're done with that, you do 3 peer reviews, and then they do 3 peer reviews for you. You should be able to get 1, the grade, and then 2, you should be able to get a certificate.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Great. Millie Oluwasen. Millie, are you able to unmute yourself? Millie?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Millie Oluwaseun. I'm joining the training for the first time, and I filled the link to get the invite. Until now, I've not received any invite on my email. If I tried filling the link again, said I've already responded, I can't respond a second time. I'm still waiting for the invite message, and they said I'm supposed to get 3 messages. I've not received anyone so far.
When did you fill the link?
I did it earlier this week, around Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, so let me just check. And you said your name is
Millie.
Millie. Millie. What's your email address, please?
Millie for whole season 4, figure 4. All. ALL. Then season SEASON.
SEASON.
At yahoo.com.
At yahoo.com. Just search. Look at the rosters. Okay, let me just send you an invite right away.
All right.
So you said your name is Millie.
And Oluwaseun. OLU.
Spell your second.
No, not A. OLU.
OLU.
WA. SEUN. SEUN.
And like that?
Yes.
Okay. So let me send you an invite. And you should receive an invite right now.
All right.
Yeah. And I'll invite you to the other courses as well. Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see if we have other hands again. Oluwakemi Armstrong, your hand is up.
Yes, please. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Okay. My challenge is with the assignment. I don't know if it's because I'm using my phone, but I'm unable to proceed with the assignment. I have the same interface, like I've opened compare number or something, because I work with lower children. I've opened compare numbers, but I'm unable to proceed. I don't know what else to do from there. I don't know if it's because I'm using my phone, if compulsorily I have to do it on a laptop.
Yeah, so there are certain things you can access on a mobile phone, but there are others, especially like accessing the PhET simulation. It's a bit fiddly working on a mobile phone. And I suggest that if you have a computer, then you can try and use a computer. I think we had mentioned this in the syllabus, that it is generally recommended to use a computer rather than a mobile phone.
Yeah.
Because using a mobile phone, it's difficult to access some of the simulations. You can access some, but you cannot access some of the simulations. So that's what I would advise. Yes, Blessing.
Yes, she can download the Coursera app to work also well. I think other people are having good experiences with the app.
Yeah, that's an alternative, but working with the simulation, some of the simulations would open on phone, but others would not. So yes, you can submit assignment using the Coursera app, which will be fine, but exploring the simulation and working with the simulation, you'll need to probably find a computer. Okay, great. Millie, I think Millie, your hand is still up. Millie, do you have
that? No, I'll lower my hand now.
Okay. Okay, now having done with the hands, let me check the chat box if we have questions. Let me begin with Agogo Marvelous says, I thought I was done with the introduction to PhET simulation, only to find out this morning after downloading the app, I still had my last assignment to submit. I suggest that you complete the other assignment that you're yet to complete, because there are 2 assignments in that first phase, the introduction to PhET simulation. I'll show you. Let me just share my screen and show you the assignments in the first phase of the course. So share the screen. So this is introduction to PhET simulations. And then let me view this as a learner so that you can all see. So this is the interface that you see when you are on introduction to PhET simulations. And it has basically 2 sections. The first section is on introduction to PhET simulation, which has got these learning objectives. The first one is plan which sim you want to use in next lesson. Learn what makes PhET simulations unique. Find simulations that are relevant to your class, and then reflect on active learning, and then embed those simulations and learn how to share those simulations with others. So you're expected to go through this introduction, go through the learning goals, do introduction to PhET, play with the simulation, active learning with sims, and then you go to integration tips, and then sharing the simulation. And then once you're done with that, the first assignment is this selecting PhET simulations. So if you click on that, it is going to bring you this interface, which is a peer graded assignment. And the assignment is on selecting PhET simulation. And there are clear instructions here. So the instruction here is that one, you need to select a course or a subject or a topic that you're currently teaching, which you're able to use the PhET simulation. And then you are expected to go to the PhET simulations page and then identify at least 3 relevant PhET simulations for the course or subject or learning area that you could use in the following weeks. And for each simulation, you're supposed to describe what students can learn. And then the last instruction is for you to browse and identify some of the relevant topics and objectives and learning resources and more. And then we have a template here that we have given you that you're supposed to fill. So this template looks like this. I've just downloaded it on my computer. So let me just open it for the sake of showing it to others. This is how the document looks like. And the document is a very simple document that you're expected to use. It has instructions here at the top, which is selecting PhET simulations templates. And then there is instruction here, which you're supposed to read through. And once you've read through, you're supposed to fill which course, provide the context here. And the context includes what is the student grade? What is the level? What are the ages? What is the required prior knowledge? And what are the, educational needs? Then here we have 3 columns: the topic, the PhET simulation name and link, and then lastly, what can students learn from the simulation? And we have an example here. For example, this is structured matter. The PhET simulation name is build an atom, and then the link is embedded here. And then we have given a number of concepts that when learners explore this simulation, they can be able to learn with. So you're expected to fill at least 3 of them. And once you've filled these 3 of them, there is, of course, a criteria that has been, shared here. Once you describe it, you get 1 point. List topics, you get another point. At least 3, you get another point. Then at least identify at least 5 concepts, and you get another point. So this is what the peer reviews are supposed to use to to grade you. And then let me just pause there and see. I'm seeing a few hands. Maybe you, John, do you have a question related to this? John, are you able to unmute and ask a question? Okay. So I will proceed and show you how to submit. So submitting, once you've done your assignment, you're supposed to go to this my submission button here. So you have sections here, and then you have my submission button here. And this is where you submit your assignments that you've filled. So of course, you're going to, so this one I've just populated it with another one, but then the other one is going to give you an opportunity to be able to submit, and then there is a rubric of how you'll be graded on your extreme left. Blessing, I don't know if you or anyone, if someone can be able to, maybe I stop sharing my screen, you share your screen, and then I can be able to show you exactly how the submission section looks like in your interface, the way you see it. Anyone can share. Let me just stop sharing my screen, and then maybe allow Blessing or anyone in the meeting room who can share their screen, and then we see how you can be able to submit your assignment.
Anyone wants to share their screen? Anyone having difficulty with submitting? I see some people who said, there's someone say, I don't know how to submit. Can you share your screen? Anyone? Submitted an assignment. I'm trying to look for the person who asked that question. I was graded in the first. I've been trying to submit my assignment. It's asking me to pay. Yeah, Zach, what do we do about that?
I will come back to this because this is a different, this is a different
thing.
question.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to address how
The
to submit the
submission.
assignment. Yes.
Anyone?
So if anyone can share the screen.
I think you should use your internet since yours is better.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me try and I'll show a different activity than our assignment.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me share my screen and then share this. So I will go back. I'll go back and maybe go to week 2. So week 2 is about whole strategies, and your strategies, whole class inquiry, interactive lecture demonstration, concept questions, and then here you have, a reading to do, but here you have like whole class inquiry, and here, when you click on it, there are instructions here again, just like the first assignment, and you have instructions on whole class inquiry assignment, and then you have a template that you fill and populate, and then you have a criteria that you are supposed to fulfill. So once you're done, once you populate this whole class inquiry sheet, which gives you an opportunity to complete this. Yeah, so you have this document that you're going to complete as part of the whole class inquiry assignment. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. Of course, you fill in these sections, and then once you've filled in, of course, you'll save your document. So let's say I save my document in let me save it maybe on the documents, and then save. And then when I come back in order to submit, I'll go to my submission, and then my first activity, I need to give it a name. So for example, I'll say here whole class class inquiry inquiry, let me say Zach, and then here I will need to submit my activity here. So let's say I've not submitted anything here, so I'll need to upload my file, and then I'll browse the file from where I have stored it. So for example, if I've stored it in my documents, and then I named it I gave it this name, and then I open, and then this document is going to upload, and once it has uploaded, it will appear here. Again, I'm going to give this title, same title as before, whole class inquiry Zach, and then I can caption there. Then here I need to check this box. I understand that submitting that isn't my own may result in, you have to agree to this term, and then all you need to do is to be able to submit, and then it will bring you this button to submit. So you make sure you click on submit, and once you do that, you'll have submitted an assignment for that activity. And the next step will, of course, now to review other assignments that are related to this. To review assignments that are related to this. So if I go to review assignments, it will prompt me to start reviewing other participants' assignment. So I will click here on peer graded assignment whole class inquiry, then start reviewing. So it's going to bring me a page. So for example, it has brought me an activity for Nathan Tarili Lanyo or Olainka. And here I have simply to do two things. First is to look at his submission, and then two, to look at this rubric here that is asking me. So let me open this document. Let me open Nathan's document first. So I open this whole class inquiry document from Nathan, and then I will be able to go through the document. And as I go through the document, I'm able to check, is Nathan meeting this is his document, I believe. Is Nathan meeting the criteria that is outlined there, for example? So let me just make it a little bit bigger, and then I will check this with respect to Nathan's just go back here and then go back to the against the rubric now. So here is his document. You make it smaller, take it sideways, and just check. For example, does he describe the context, topic, student grade, ages? Then I come here and check. I check. He has the topic, which is acid and base, the grade, then of course the ages. So then here I just say 1 point. Does he have specific measurable learning goal for teaching mathematics or science? I check. Does he have a learning goal? And his learning goal is balance some chemical equations involving acid and bases. So he has that. Does he make substantial use of PhET Sim as the primary learning tool? So here he has identified balancing chemical equations, and he has shared a link. I can just double check that this link is also indeed functioning, and go straight to that simulation link. And while it is loading that, I can see balancing chemical equation, which is what he's using in his activity here. So he makes substantial use of the PhET simulation. So I'll go back here. And say yes, he makes substantial use of a PhET Sim as the primary learning tool. Then does the activity content is scientifically or mathematically accurate and progressively develop students' understanding in a coherent manner? So when I look at this, first he starts with compounds, and then asks whether it is balanced, and then I can check here whole class 3. So I can clearly see that here he has some content on balancing some chemical equations. But here he has not really described the simulation manipulation. So it doesn't necessarily meet that criteria, because down here he jumps straight to red, white, balls, gray represent what happens extra molecule of oxygen. Actually developing it, which is quite good. The simulation gives practical live illustration. So I can say that in terms of activity is content scientifically accurate, I would say yes. Then here illustrates plans to use on more types of question tasks. Here I can see a few questions. For example, what must be done to balance the equation? Why and how did you reach your conclusion? For example, here is there include 3 to 5 sim-based questions. Say elaborate. You can elaborate more on the steps you will take to implement whole class inquiry in your lesson, because that is not like adequately addressed. So then when I submit, he's going to receive feedback on his side. I have reviewed and then given him something to improve on. So that's how you do the reviews for your peers once you have submitted your activities. Again, let me just pause there to check if there is a specific question that is related to submitting your assignment and also doing peer reviews before we look at the other questions that have been raised.
Do we have any other question? I hope we've been clarified on how to submit and also how to do peer reviews. It's quite important, those two processes, because it's the same thing we're also going to do in this week's assignment. Your submission, which is the same way you've done first week, then also peer reviews also. So if you have any questions, I see Lua Kemi, can you unmute and ask your question? I
Yes,
see your
please.
hands raised.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Please, how do I review it? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My question is, how do I review a peer's work when I don't know much about what he or she has put up?
Sorry, can you repeat your question again? You dropped a bit there.
Okay, the question is, how do I review a peer's work if I do not know much about what he or she has put up? For instance, it's saying physics and I'm not a physics inclined person, or...
Good question.
That's just my question.
Very good question. Let me go back again to reviewing. So when you're reviewing, so for example, this has brought up Adukoya or Lalekan review is submitted on 29, and this is fractions. And I don't, let's say I don't know about fractions. The rubric here is guiding you very well. It's just asking you, does Odukoya's activity, does it describe the topic, the student grade, the age? So you just go to his submission. You go to his submission. Sorry, I lost it accidentally. Anyway, you go to his submission. You go to his submission. Let me open his submission and check. What is the rubric asking me? The rubric is asking me to check, does he have the course itself? Does he have the context? Yes, he has. Does he have the age? Yes, he has. Does he have prior knowledge for the students? You can see, yes, he has. Does he have the simulation link? And you can check indeed if the simulation link is there. Then does he have a learning goal? Then you can just check like, yes, he has 2 learning goals. Does he have questions?
Because I've actually edited what I submitted before. I've made some adjustments, but I have problem, loading the file. It keeps showing me the old one that was already graded. So what do I do about it?
Very good question. Let me go back to, let me go to Coursera again. First, let me share my screen and then go to Coursera. And then I show you something that I've submitted and I want to resubmit the way you're asking. So let me share my screen first. Share screen and then share here and then view this as a learner. So let me go to and my peer graded assignment. I uploaded something. My submission here when I go my submission, you can see here I have uploaded this activity. So in order to, let me just go back here. If I go to, so I can say review, not review assignment. Want to view this as a learner. So if I do this and then go to my submission, then start new attempt. So all I need to do is to go to start new attempt, and then your new attempt will clear your previous submission. This is the prompt that you're going to get, and peer review feedback. So if you cancel and don't attempt again, what you've submitted will count towards your final grade. So when I click on continue, it is going to give again another page to be able to submit my assignment. Again now here, because I had submitted before and I want to resubmit, what I will do, I'll just click this product, this little X here. And when I click on it, you can see it now gives me an opportunity now to upload a new file, which now I can upload a new file and then click on this and then resubmit, the upgraded assignment activity that I have done. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Awesome, good. Miss Peter, your hand is up. Just unmute, and those 3 emails will be inviting you to 3 courses. So you click on that email and then you join the course using this email. If you don't join the course using this email, Coursera is going to continue asking you to pay for this. But the course that you are on, we have like this is like a private session. You are doing the same course, but then you are not expected to be able to pay. So I suggest that you go back, look for this email. Let me just drop again this email in the chat box for those of you who might have missed it. And then search for it. It will bring up 3 emails. Click on those things and then join the course using the email. That's the only way to prevent you from Coursera asking you to pay for the course. Okay, good. Let me again go back to the other question. Good morning, team. Please, do I still have a chance to submit my assignment later today because I have been indisposed for some days now? Yes, you have a chance. Again, I said, I've just mentioned that please read this syllabus. It has solutions to most of the questions that you have. So the course, you have 3 courses: Introduction to PhET Simulation, PhET Simulation for STEM Education, Activity Design with PhET Simulations for STEM Education, and then Implementation of PhET Activities for STEM Education. And you have an opportunity to submit the assignment and required activities up to when the course is closed. So this course is open from 22nd, which was last week, and it will close on 12th of August, 2023. So you can submit any assignment, do reviews during this period for any activity. So you have a chance to be able to do so. So here's the activity calendar, and then, of course, how to request for the certificate, and then frequently asked questions. So this document is in WhatsApp group. Please, again, I ask that you go through it so that you can be able to address those questions, some of the issues and questions that you have. Okay. Let me look at another question. I2, this is my first time attending. How can I join in the assignment? In the WhatsApp group, okay, there is a Google form. Fill the Google form. We will use the information you have filled in the Google form to invite you to the course, and then you'll have access to the whole course and all the assignments. Oluwatosin Obaleye says, I'm joining the training for the first time. How can I make up for the first training? Please, again, there is a Google form in there's a Google form in WhatsApp. Fill it up. We will invite you to the course. Then you'll have access to all the workshop, all the assignment, and you'll be able to do it. Diego Nathan says, I was graded in the first assignment 75%. Can I retake? And I'm yet to review grading for the second one. Okay. So yes, you are allowed to retake as many times as possible. Just identify why is it that you did not get the other 25%, so that when you retake the course, you have an opportunity to get 100%. And once you do that, the highest score is the one that is considered. Then I'm yet to review grading for the second one. Please make sure that as you expect others to review you, please always review others. Coursera is keeping track. If you do 2 reviews and not 3 reviews, you'll not get like full grade. So you also need to do at least 3 reviews for the others. Cousin Folor Sunso says, I submitted my assignment and have graded successfully. I submitted my assignment and have graded successfully, but yet to receive my certificate. What should I do? Again, please just go through the course. Once you have been reviewed and you have completed all the assignment activities and you've done reviews for other people, then you should be able to get a certificate for that part of the course. And then also just to mention about the course, there is a certificate for each course. And once you've done the 3 courses successfully, you'll get an overall certificate for all the 3 courses.
Yeah, Zach.
Yes,
Zach,
please.
I think we've done 1 hour, answering questions, and I'm sure it will be okay for everyone. I think we should go to, for this week, activity design. Let's walk them through it and how to submit and all again.
Yeah. So Blessing, I think it is important we address these questions so that they progress. So I suggest let me just go through the questions, and then we will still do the other section. But if we address these questions, I'm sure the other section is going to be smooth. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I'm okay, Zach. Thank you.
Okay, good.
And also, I want us to also do something on the group. If any other person is having a difficulty and asking questions, if you have passed through that difficulty, please support the person also. Okay, because there are like 700 people on the group, and you don't want to know how many people are messaging me privately. It's a lot of work. So please, I would open the group at a particular time. You drop your questions there, and please, our lovely community, let us support each other. Okay, we can answer also. Thank you. Zach, you can go on.
Thank you. Will it be too late to complete and submit last week's assignment for today's class? I suggest that the earlier you do, the better. The last week is usually more heavy, and just from past experiences, people who wait to submit assignment the last week, they don't go through the courses. So it is better you do section by section as opposed to waiting for the last week to be able to submit, but it's not late. Can people still register? Yes, you can still register. Check up the WhatsApp group, and there's a link, register, we'll put you on the course. How do I take lessons for last week and do the assignments? Register for the course, we'll invite you and you'll join the course. Blessing has shared the link here, and the link is also in WhatsApp. Please go there and register, and we'll invite you to the course. We cannot see the document that you downloaded. When you download the document, it goes to your downloads, and then you work on it, and then you upload, just the same way you do the other documents as well. I don't have a laptop here. You have been answered. You can use the Coursera app. Okay. There's also a suggestion from Chinaza. on how to access it via Google Chrome, which is great. Okay, I think, are we still doing the simulation for today? Of course, we are going to do a simulation for the day, but I felt it is important to do to address questions so that, you know, we are on the same page. What of those that have not started on any assignment, can they still start? Yes, you can start. Because I'm finding it difficult to upload all the videos. There is no assignment that is requiring you to upload a video. So please just upload the documents. And then you said before taking an assignment, we should check areas where we did not do well. How do I do that? Go to the review section. You'll always get comments on where you did not get a point. And then you make sure that you address that particular point. Okay, so I'm about to close questions. I'm about to close the questions. So I just want to make sure that I don't close anyone out. If you have a question related to the course, it is your time to ask your question now. Okay, good. So let's go to what we've planned for today. And we'll begin with the simulation of the day. So I am going to drop a link in the chat box. I'm going to drop a link in the chat box and also share my screen. Share my screen and view a biology simulation. It is called natural selection, and I would like you to play with the simulation for 2 minutes. Play with the simulation for 2 minutes. I'm going to time it. And then as you play with the simulation, I would like you to think about 2 things. The first one is, what do you notice? What do you notice? The second one, think about, what do you wonder about this simulation? And then the third thing that I'd like you to think about is, how might you use this in your lesson? I have dropped the link to the simulation in the chat box. The link is to the natural selection PhET simulation. Play with it for 2 minutes, and your 2 minutes begin now. I'm going to time it. After 2 minutes, you're going to share, what did you notice about the simulation? And what did you wonder about the simulation? And then also think about, like, how might you use this in your own classroom? Your 2 minutes begin now. Play with the simulation. And as you play with the simulation, think about the 3 questions. What do you notice? What do you wonder? And how might you use this in your own classroom? You can share your thoughts. You can drop your thoughts in the chat box. You can also unmute and be able to share about this. So play with the simulation. What do you wonder about the simulation? What do you wonder? And how might you use this in your own classroom? And be prepared to share about those 3 things. You can unmute. You can also type in the chat box after you've played around with the simulation.
Okay, may I share my thoughts?
Yes, can I stop sharing my screen? Maybe if you want to share your screen as well.
No. I just want to talk about it. I'm not like, me sharing my screen. No, I have already played with the simulation. I played with the simulation yesterday, and then I just did again, just now. But
Please
Okay,
go ahead and share thoughts.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, you want me to share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, I learned that the population of living organisms, keep increasing if there is food availability. Living organisms keep growing since food is available. There is no environmental factor to keep the population of these bunnies in check. We have a lot of young rabbits, the bunnies, and then the population keeps, increasing. So I introduced a dominant allele, another, a gouty rabbit, with brown fur. The brown fur, that is a mutation that I introduced. When I introduced that mutation, I noticed that there are more, rabbits to feed on the bunny. So there are a lot of, there are no competitions this time around because nothing is keeping the population in check. But when I introduce a wolf as the environmental factor, the wolves, keep feeding on the bunnies, and then the population of these bunnies keep increasing. Then I noticed that these bunnies, they were able to identify the white bunnies, the white rabbit, because they cannot camouflage. If you look at the color of that place, you can see that the brown bunnies, the brown rabbit can actually camouflage. They can actually camouflage with the color of their environment. So the selection pressure here, there's a selection pressure, and that's what is exerting selection pressure in this population here is the wolf population. So I learned that the wolf is actually, they are actually feeding selectively on the white rabbit and leaving the brown, rabbit. So the number of the brown rabbit over time, the brown rabbits, they were able to reproduce. They were able to survive, reproduce, and multiply. So we have more of them in the population over time. This is what I learned, sir.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Very insightful. John Olorunope, I see you've typed something in the chat box. Would you all like to share? John, please unmute yourself and tell us more about what you've shared.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much.
Latif, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, John.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so what I observed is giving the rabbits food, I discovered that I didn't introduce any environmental factor. I discovered that they just kept multiplying, the white ones. I added one mate to the other one that was there, and then I discovered that they just kept multiplying. And by the 5th generation, I discovered that they've taken over the world. So their population was so much, given the factor of availability of food, and then if the factor of reproduction keeps coming in from the 1st generation like that, by the 5th generation, they took over the world. So that's my observation about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And lastly, Daniel. Daniel, would you like to share something different, maybe? Daniel or Saha Bawa?
Zach, okay. we have some hands raised.
Okay, Ekene.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. And thank you very much for the opportunity to learn how to use the Sims. So I just want to ride a little bit upon what the first speaker said. So if you look at the simulation for this natural selection, you would notice that the population increased cumulatively. Okay, there's a geometric increase in population every generation, right? And if you start off by 2 white rabbits, obviously it goes 2, 4, 8, thereabout, just goes like that. Then if you now introduce a mutation, which is the brown 4, those mutations start showing up in the next generation. And because of it's a mutation, it starts showing up little by little, all right? Before, and the way it works is that in one generation you see it, in next generation it disappears because it is dominant, while the white is recessive, right? So that goes on. When you now introduce an environmental factor, maybe like the fox, obviously it is not going to be eating the brown 4 because those ones are very little in the population. It's going to eat more of the white because those are the ones that are visible around. Okay, it's not as if that they are being camouflaged. They're not camouflaged. They are just small by probability. So it gets to eat more of the white ones. And if you now, what I did in my own case, I introduced in another environmental factor, which is less food. So that's now there are now 2 factors, and that caused the population to reduce cumulatively also until eventually I have more brown, obviously, because they are dominant. You know, that means more of that their species will be showing up in the next generation until I don't have any white anymore. My take is that the white disappeared not because of the fact that the environmental factor was taking them out. It was because of they are now recessive, you know, and that is why the brown eventually took over the population. So that's just my take. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your thoughts. And just from the teachers who have shared about this simulation, you can see the richness and the ideas that they have about how to, the things that they are discovering about the simulation and what they can be able to use to teach concepts with this simulation. So the key point here is that just exploring the simulation, you learn about some concepts, science concepts, specifically biology concept for this simulation. But then there are also things that you will learn on your own that you didn't know about. You will discover. It will increase your curiosity, but also you'll have more ideas of what to teach. But most importantly, it highlights how much a resource we are to one another. So like your fellow teachers are the most valuable resource when it comes to using these PhET simulations. One teacher can share about how they're using it in class. Another one can share about how they're creating an activity that is engaging, for a different learning objective. So I just want to emphasize on how much a resource is you are to one another. And now talking about teacher resources, I want to highlight 2 things, and I'll also show it on the actual simulation. Actually, when you go on the simulation page, there is this part here where you play the simulation itself, but also below it there is a section, about section, teaching resources, activities. And here you can actually find more resources and tips on how to use the simulation and activities that have been developed by other teachers. Let me just stop sharing this and go back to the same simulation that you played around with and show you what I'm talking about. So if I share screen and go to the natural selection simulation, so this is the simulation that you are playing around with. And before you open the simulation, there is, these sections that are below these simulations. And let me just spend some time to talk about some of these things. So first, there is this down arrow here that you see here. So this one, you can be able to download the simulation and be able to share with your colleague. You can send them WhatsApp because they are basic HTML files. So you can download it on your phone or on your computer and then be able to send it via WhatsApp or via whatever platform that you're using. And then they can have that natural selection simulation. And of course, these are like, embedding them in other social media and other web pages. But what I want to highlight is this section here. We have the About section that talks about this natural selection simulation. It talks about suggested topics that you can teach with this simulation. You can teach about mutation. You can teach about genetics. You can teach and learn about natural selection. And then down here, we have sample learning goals. And each simulation has got suggested sample learning goals. But you're not limited to these goals. You can be as creative as you want to be able to use this simulation. Then the next tab here is the teaching resources. And this teaching resources is, it gives you tips on how to use that simulation. And in order to going to this PDF document demonstrates to you how you can start using this simulation. So for example, it's talking about the introduction screen and what each element and each component on this simulation is about. So for example, this one is showing you how to select the environment, how to add a dominant or recessive gene. Then this one is talking about the lab screen. And then when you go down, it's talking about how you can customize this to specific mutations if you want to. And then down here, you have notes on like models, different models. And then at the end here, you have suggestions for use. You want to explore different mutations. For example, you can teach you that what conditions lead to bunnies taking over the world, for example, and many others. And you can also see other published activities when you click on this link. So this teacher tips is very, very important resource that you can be able to use if you don't know how to go about using a particular simulation. And then the last thing I want to show on this page is this activities section.
Hello,
and
sir.
This activities section
minute, sir.
has got lessons. Yes.
You forgot to mention that for them to view the teaching resources, they have to be registered.
Oh, yes. I'll just show in a second.
And I know that most Nigerian teachers, they always encounter they can't find their school names. So help them navigate that whole layout. You know, they have to click can't find school, then type in their school names. Yeah, when registering.
Okay, great. Thank you. So let me talk about these activities first, and then I'll show you how to register. It's free to register an account with PhET Simulations. So PhET has got over 3,000 teacher-developed activities, and this includes lesson plans, activity sheets, and many other resources. So for this particular simulation on natural selection, you have all these teacher-submitted activities. If I just scroll down, like all these, very specific to one simulation, ranging all the way from middle school, primary school, high school, and even in some cases, you have like university level staff, undergraduate staff. So, for example, this, let's say natural selection lesson by UTeach. You have the author here. You have, it's a lab activity and it's in English. So if I want to access this activity, all I need to do is to be able to click on this link, this first column here with the title. It's going to take me to a resource, to this, and you can see this is a natural selection middle school lesson that has been developed, and I can download it. And once I download it, it is going to give me the PDF. We also have like a Word version of this that you can be able to use. And so this is the lesson. They have written like, what this is about, and the grade level, the assumptions, the overview, the objectives, the resources needed, and this is like college level. And this person has gone ahead to write each and every word that is related to this lesson. So that's how you access it. There are numerous lessons on it. So I would suggest that you can go on any simulation and explore, these lessons and get an inspiration. You can adapt some of them. So far, you cannot be able to access this without creating a free account on the PhET website. So because PhET has got a lot of resources, I suggest that you create an account to be able to access these resources, because these resources, some of them are really, really useful and can they can reduce just your workload. So in order to register, you see these tabs here at the end here, there is this icon, this last one here. And for mine, I have like admin because I have admin rights to the website. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to sign out so that I show you from scratch how to be able to do it from the beginning. So when you go to the PhET website, you'll get this part here. Let me just refresh to make sure that this is active. I am going to, yes, I'll click there. And once you click there, it's going to bring you a page. And then let me go to register here. So if I'm having a new account, I'll click on register. And then this is going to give me this page to start registering from afresh. So for example, I can select here, I am a teacher. And then I verify that I am 13 years old of age or older. And then I click next. Then it's going to give me another page here where I'm going to populate in. This is optional. I don't need it. I will type in my email address again, like that. Then I'm going to type in a password and then confirm again my password. Confirm my password, and then first name, I'm going to input my first name and then input my last name. Then I'm going to select my country. In your case, for example, you are going to select Nigeria in your case. Then I'm going to select a region. Maybe I'm going to select Ebonyi. City, I don't know what city is in Ebonyi. Let me just assume there is a city called Ebonyi again. And then once I'm done with that, I'll click next. So once I click next, because I've already registered using this email address, it is giving me this prompt that I have registered. But then if you are not, it's going to give you options to fill in like the name of your school. And then once you're done with that, you will need to submit. And then once you have submitted, you'll receive a prompt that you've been registered and you can be able to log in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then allow someone who has not registered to try and register by sharing their screen so that we just see the process so that you can register and be able to access these wonderful resources that have been developed on the PhET websites. Any volunteer who can be able to do that? Let me stop sharing my screen. Anyone who's ready to share their screen who has not registered and can go through the registration process for the sake of others learning on what to do exactly?
Someone just raised their hand. You can go ahead, Tasneem. Unmute yourself, please. Your microphone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. So I'm trying to do that. So I am basically so there is no precise. Maybe I can do teacher educator. And I verify that I am 13 years of age. And then my primary email is, and then I can then add the password. Just a second. All right, so it is Send Karachi. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I will save my password here, and I guess I am going to come to the sign in. Oh. All right. So I need to fix my password. Let me quickly do that. And then so hopefully it will do. Okay. So again, I have to add more of it. So organization. So I work at the Aga Khan University. Aga Khan.
Okay, so if you don't find it, click on can't find organization. Click there. Just beside that.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I did that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's what we do, especially we in Nigeria. If you can't find, you won't find the name of your school there, but just click on can't find and add everything. Okay.
Okay. Sure. So organization website. So I will have to pick it from my sorry. So DKU website. The Aga Khan University. So I'll just need to get the link. Copy link address. Okay, so just a second, and I will put it in the. All right, so add your organization. So it is added. So the subject I am interested in, I teach is basically, so I teach teacher educators. So, and I can safely do this, the middles, and can I do 2? Yeah. All right. So teaching experience is, so it's like, it's 20 plus or yeah, almost. And pet user occasional. So I have been an occasional user. Register now. Okay, so what does it want me to do? Subject, all right. So primarily, so I am more focused on general science and science stream. Wow. So, all right. So it's asking me,
if you can just like scroll down and then just
but
click, that should be. Or
okay,
refresh.
refresh.
Yeah.
Okay. I am doing it.
I think you are registered now.
Again.
Yeah. Now
I'm
you can sign
registered?
in. Yeah. Now you can
Okay.
sign in.
All right. Let me see. So I should stop sharing now, right? Okay. I
You
can
just
sign in
complete
now.
sign in. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So enter the email address. So it will send me the
The confirmation.
Please send email. Yeah. So email confirmation sent. So I think probably it will work. So thank you so much. Yep.
Thank you so much, Tasnim. That was very helpful for taking us through that. I think there's a question in the chat box. I think from someone who is asking where to get the registration. Again, just for the sake of that, let me just show that quickly. Share screen. So when you go to the PhET website, this thing here, the last one. So there is simulations, teaching, research, initiatives, donate, the search button, and then this last part here. When you click on it, it's going to prompt you to register. So that's where you go to do the registration. Okay, good. So let me share my slides again and share slides. And we talk about this. Okay, great. So of course, the goal for you accessing the simulation is to use them for teaching. And in order to effectively teach with these simulations, there are a variety of models that, or a variety of modes that you can use to teach with these PhET simulations, depending on the context, the teaching context. So, for example, in most of our African classrooms, our African schools, you realize that you have 70 kids, you have 100 kids in front of you, and the teacher, you are more in control of the class. In some cases, for example, in Kenya, you're not even able to move in between the desks to give attention to a particular student. So in that case, then you might want to use, things like, whole class strategies, maybe whole class lecture demonstration or whole class inquiry, or interactive lecture, demonstration, or concept questions, so there are many teaching approaches that are existing, but we promote these three, but that is not to say that you cannot use any other teaching strategy. We just focus on these three because a lot of our context, you have like large class sizes, and then maybe if you're lucky, you have a computer and a projector, and that's all you have. So in interactive lecture demonstrations, for example, you make students like, see a scenario, and then you ask them to predict, and then you ask them to engage in small groups, and then they test their predictions against the simulated scenario. And in concept questions, you present, you provide a scenario, and you have a set of like solutions, one fixed scenario, and then you have like a correct scenario, and then also like challenging distractors, and then you're asking learners to engage with it and try to identify which one is the correct one, then tell you why they chose that. And also, like when technology is available, there are some schools where each student has got a device, then of course you can do that individualized learning as well. I mean, the goal for PhET is really to make students learn math and science doing, as opposed to just hearing and listening. So the workshop sequence has got mainly three components. You have the introduction to PhET simulation, and then we have the whole class implementation strategies that I've just highlighted, and that forms the first part of the course. And then the next part of the course, which is the science and math activity design, where you are given an opportunity to reflect on inquiry learning, and then you are given an opportunity to develop strategies for writing simulation-based activities for either your science class or your math class. And then you are supposed to draft that PhET-based science or math class lesson plan, and also to draft an activity sheet. I'm just going to show you on that part of the course as well. And we also have like a rubric that also guides you on pre-implementation of your lesson, just to check like what components do you have, what are you missing, so that you can do self-evaluation as well. And then the last part of the course, which is facilitating PhET simulation use, which is about you becoming familiar with strategies to facilitate student use of the simulations during an activity. And then you're also given an opportunity to reflect on a lesson that you have implemented that has a PhET-focused activity. So before just jumping into the course itself, I am interested in knowing maybe from just one or two people from the participants, what resources do you have in your classroom? And also, in which form do you plan to use the simulation? Just unmute yourself, one person or two people, unmute and be able to share with us, like, what is the scenario of your classroom? How does it, look like? What resources do you have? Do you just have maybe a laptop? Do you have a laptop or do you have a smartphone and a projector, and your class size is larger? Do you have like individualized setups where each learner is blessed with a device and they can engage with the simulation and play on? Please just unmute yourself and be able to share. Ade Bowale Jimo.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. In my school,
afternoon.
I have a projector in every classroom and a laptop. So I will connect the projector to my laptop and then project my screen. That is if it's a physical class. And if it is an online class we are having, then I will just share my screen. So the students can have, we use Google Meet for our online classes. So I will share my screen, the students will see everything I'm doing. Then I'll post the link through the charts of the class. So the student can click on the chart and follow through the simulation.
Awesome, thank you. Great, thank you. Could we have some? Yes.
Okay,
please.
in my school, I have an interactive board in the laboratory. So I have an interactive board in the laboratory. Then I have my own, personal laptop that I can connect to the interactive board. Or if I don't want to connect my laptop at all, I can use the interactive board for anything I want. There's Wi-Fi, the school Wi-Fi, so I can connect the interactive board with the Wi-Fi, and then I can display, I can do, everything there. Thank you. So, and then we use, to connect with the students, we use Microsoft Teams. So all students have been registered on, Microsoft Teams, and then my class can proceed from there, whether online or physical.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. At least we have two different scenarios. In the interest of time, I'll just go to an activity that I will let you discuss in a breakout room. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes to discuss about these two questions. Given your context, some of you have, sorry, I was muted. So I was saying that I'm going to give you an opportunity. Sorry, I'll give you an opportunity to go into a breakout room for 10 minutes. And in the breakout room, I would like you to discuss these two questions, given your context. So one is, what have you learned about PhET Sims or active learning in whole groups in the past few weeks? And then the next question, given your context, what is the one thing that you would like to try in the next few weeks with your context in your own classroom? So I'm going to randomly assign you to breakout rooms. And then after 10 minutes, we will come back and please share within your groups about that. So Blessing, are you able to form just randomly 20 groups? So if you go to, let me do it. Let me just do it from here.
Okay, sir.
Let me do it. Yeah, let me do it. So you have 20 minutes, you have 10 minutes to discuss these two questions. I'll also broadcast them. I will also broadcast them, and so that you get those two questions. Okay, so I'm opening the rooms now. and you have 10 minutes, so I will time it. After 10 minutes, we'll come back. I will drop the questions in the broadcast and also drop them on WhatsApp. So please join your room, discuss for 10 minutes these two questions.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, ma'am. Afternoon. You guys are not discussing. It's a discussion. So what have you learned so far? Hello.
Hello. Yes, actually, I just joined the training today, and I think I've learned some things. I've learned that the PhET is actually very interactive. It allows pupils to get into learning by themselves. They can actually be involved in the learning process.
Okay.
And it has resources that can engage students in order to actualize what they are actually learning, and also to pass message to the students for them to learn properly.
Great, great. So
okay, good afternoon, everyone. I actually joined this PhET simulation, the introduction to PhET, last week, and then I started my training part. I went through everything step by.
Okay, this is it. Good afternoon, ma. You're welcome, Miss Blessing. You're welcome, ma.
Yes, I can hear you. So what have you learned so far, as Zach has said, on the PhET simulation? How has it been? Does it help active learning in classes and all?
Today is my first time of joining. In fact, I joined this platform, but I'm enjoying the class. Not minding that most times I don't even follow up. I know it's all about enhancing learning in the 21st century. So all the things I've learned from the class so that the lessons or the learning will be more interactive, so that students will learn better, especially teaching a large crowd in a simple way. That's what I've learned. Like the use of sharing your board, sharing your screen, that is better off and it's time saving. So it's something that you can save, you can record it at any time for efficient learning. That's what the only thing I can say for now, ma.
Okay, great. Thank you. Rachel, do you have anything to say?
I just want to add a little, though this is my first time, and sincerely speaking, I'm not a science teacher, but I've learned a lot how to maneuver using the science method and how to use visual aids to help the children so that they can be able to see what they are learning, so that when they go out of the class, they can be able to identify those things and practicalize them. And I'm here to learn more.
Okay, great. Great. So, okay, good. Anyway, I hope you are in the course and you are doing the assignments.
I just joined today. I just joined today.
Okay, and I've not been given the link to register for the
Same
course.
with me.
Okay, I'm gonna drop the link again. It will be in the chat box, so you just drop your email.
Fill it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll drop.
I didn't get what you said, ma.
I said I'll drop a link for you to register. Put your name down and email, and we'll send it to you. Send the link to you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma.
No problem.
Okay. Can I register now or after this 10 minutes? Can I go and register?
If you click on it, you're not going. It's not going to the meeting.
Oh, so register.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Yeah, you call for help.
We just find ourselves in this. Yes, because we don't know what we're supposed to be discussing.
Oh,
just found
okay. So we're supposed to be discussing on what you have learned about Sims, PhET Sims and active learning in whole groups this week.
Okay, what we have learned this past week.
Yeah, this
Okay,
past
that's
week.
what we're supposed to discuss. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
So what have you learned?
Okay, I've learned how to use the whole class simulation to use questions to explain my simulations. And that then what else? Then I know my learning goals must align with my simulations.
Good.
So I'm prompting the students to know what maybe using the whole class inquiry method now, find out their previous knowledge, then find out how they can relate, how they can interact with the sim. I think yeah.
Okay, good. Any other person? Bisola, you are here. Bisola, can you unmute yourself and speak?
On transit, I'm here, ma.
Okay, so what is the one new thing that you would like to try in the next few weeks with PhET simulation? Any other person that can speak? What new thing would you like to try?
Yeah, I think I like the interactive system. That's using the projector and then giving pictures and giving room, pairing the students in group and allowing them to share their ideas of what they can get from the picture that you've displayed.
Good. Anyway, when working on this week assignment, which is the activity design, you would have a feel of how to deploy it. You get, because in that system, you need to provide a scaffold. You don't just give students a simulation and expect them to just get something. No, there must be a goal which you have learned this week. So a scaffold to take them, a ladder to take them to that goal. You try to provide it, but not blocking their own ideas. You get my point? You want them to be open to exploring and having their own ideas, and also want them to learn a particular concept. So that's where the designing comes in play. Okay, so I think this week assignment you focus on is either maths or sciences. Okay, let me quickly go to other groups before it closes.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem. See you in the classroom, in the main classroom soon.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. You've had 10 minutes of discussing in your small groups. I was in some of the groups, very interesting discussions. And you had an opportunity to discuss about two things. One, what you have learned about PhET Sims or active learning in the past few weeks, and then two, the one thing that you would like to try in the next few weeks. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to allow the groups to share. I'll just allow one group, maybe just to share what they discuss in the room. And I'm going to select group number 21. Group number 21 had Adaku, Good Luck, Amarachuku, Nakudu, Isaiah, Olasunkami. Would you like to share what you discussed?
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you once again. This is the last comment on the line. All right. So in group 21, we were 4 or 5, and we discussed about what we have learned about this PhET simulations, how it's a game changer, and it's actually the best way for students to learn. And then we also discussed we discussed the fact that two of us shared 2 different scenarios. One, there is a projector in the class. The teacher go to class with a laptop and demonstrate this this PhET simulation for the student. ask questions around it, get questions to contribute. So we're able to identify this in the context of PhET simulation strategy as the whole class method. And then another person shared his own perspective where each student had the laptop, and then in their school they will have we do what we call a prepared PowerPoint slide. So in this holiday, as we're preparing for the resumption, the teacher select the PhET simulation for the subjects, download it, and then using the PowerPoint add-in, incorporate it into the PowerPoint slide for each topic. This is submitted to the IT department of the school, and each student, as they come with their laptop, they have the PowerPoint that include PhET simulations. So while in class, while the teacher is demonstrating, they can demonstrate along. While the teacher is playing around with the PhET, they can do that. On their own at home, they can as well play, which for me, it makes a whole lot of learning. However, we have a challenge and a question which was raised, although we're not able to trash it, looking at the context of the Nigerian curriculum. For instance, the place I work, we do an hybrid curriculum, we do both Nigerian and the British curriculum. I don't have a problem with the British curriculum, but my concern is with the Nigerian curriculum, where we are overloaded with is a dense curriculum. It's so loaded with a lot of, there's a lot the students have to learn. And even before now, we struggle to even meet up with knowing that, for instance, our subject, the sciences especially, you have to do a practical lab, you have to do theory, you have to do object and all this stuff. So our concern is that this PhET simulation, as good as it is, it will require time for students to participate, because for me, it's the student taking over. It's the student taking over the learning in class for us, as you know, but it will take time. It will take time for them to contribute, for them to share their thoughts, for them to give feedback. So the concern is, are we going to be able to cover our syllabus or our scheme as we begin to implement this, such that we are still able to meet up, and then we're able to also change the way students learn about this. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing what you discussed. Very interesting question at the end. And this is not just a problem in Nigeria, but in many African countries. For example, Kenya, where I come from, again, there is always this concern, covering the syllabus. There's too much content to be covered. And so the question is, like, do we want our learners to really learn the science, or do we just want to complete what is supposed to be completed? And that's a question I always ask myself. And I would rather my learners really get the conceptual understanding of a concept that will form the foundation of their learning, as opposed to just completing the syllabus without them necessarily understanding. But it's a genuine concern that has been raised on many quarters. So the thing is, how do we take advantages of resources like PhET to help implement effectively the existing curriculum, syllabus that are provided by the government? Yes, great. Yeah, so I see we have particularly short of time, but I just want to finally conclude by sharing the next phase of the course. Let me share my screen and just take you through quickly the next phase of the course. So this next phase of the course is this part here. It's called Activity Design with PhET Simulations for STEM education. And as I mentioned, this part is about one, reflecting on inquiry learning in science and mathematics. And then secondly, this section is going to empower you to develop strategies for writing SIM-based inquiry activities for biology, chemistry, physics, and math. And then lastly, you'll have an opportunity to draft a PhET-based science or math lesson and an activity sheet. So this is what this section is about. This is divided into two. So you have the science activity design, which is meant for teachers of physics, chemistry, biology. And then we have a math activity design that is meant for math teachers. So you are welcome to look at both sections, but I suggest that you just focus on your area. There's no harm in looking at math if you are a chemistry teacher or biology teacher, or if you're a math teacher, there's no harm in looking at the science activity design. But they have the same structure. First of all, you have a section on student-sim interaction, and then you will have sample activities in the different subject areas in math, physics, chemistry, and biology. Then there is the lesson structure, and then there is content on designing activity sheets. I thought we would go through this together, but because of the questions we had at the beginning, we are not able to do that in time. So you have the physics pre-lab activities, biology pre-lab activities, chemistry pre-lab activities, and then challenge prompt. Very interesting section here. You'll have an opportunity to practice writing challenge prompts for your learners in the different subject areas. And then we have got the post-lab activities. And then, of course, you have the homework. And then you have an opportunity to design a student science activity sheet. And then this other section for week 3 is for math. It has the same content, but adapted to math activities. So I suggest that you go through this section. You go through this section so that and if you have any question, please feel free to type it in the forum so that we can be able to support you. And if you have questions, you can type them and also type them in WhatsApp, and we'll be able to address them from that point. And at this point, I would like to return it back to Blessing so that you can be able to close this session. Thank you very much for your participation and also for listening to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you so much. 2 hours, a lot of talk. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to open up the group for this assignment. I know it's a lot of work. Okay. So any questions during the week also, I'm going to try to go through some things with you to support you so you can be able to do the assignment faster. So please make sure, I'm sure everyone here is on the WhatsApp group. Okay. And, for the question of our curriculum, the content is so much. How can we implement PhET Sims, workload, time? Is there enough time? There's a balance to it. Now, as science and maths teachers, we know those topics that students find difficult in understanding, in getting. We know those key topics. It is in our best interest, just as Zach said, that he prefers for his students to learn a particular concept and get it because it's the foundation. Let's say someone doesn't get something in physics in SS1. He's going to meet it in SS2, in SS3, and in his exam. So entry classes like SS1, simulation and helping students getting the concept using PhET simulation is quite important. Yes, it is not all subjects that you use the simulation because of the workload and time, but there are key things that you would love your students to get, so it is easy as you progress in classes. So this is my own input to the question of no time and how do you infuse this and all. So those key topics, students find difficulty in, you can use the PhET simulation to address them in maths and also in the sciences. So thank you so much, everyone. Oh, I see the thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for staying to the end. I think we have 91 participants at the end. Thank you. I am so grateful to you for you sacrificing this time to staying here and for self-development, which is not just for yourself, but to impact your learners. Thank you so much, Zach. for staying with us. And thank you, my wonderful STEM educators, for also staying to this time. The group, I'm going to open the group throughout this week. I'm going to help you out with the assignment. At least right now, we all know how to navigate the Coursera. So please, there should be less question on how to navigate and how to submit the assignment. So now it's on, oh, I don't understand this. How can we go through this? And also which we are going to do together. So from the syllabus here, from our syllabus, which is here, I uploaded it here. It's taking time. Are you taking time to load? Hold on. Let me try to open it up here. Let me share my screen. And okay. Can you see my screen? Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. So from our syllabus,
I think it's coming up.
Okay, yes. So this is the assignment, as Zach said, which I'm emphasizing. So you have to just choose one. Okay, you can see there was a week 1, week 2, week 3. Choose one. If you're a math teacher, go to the math activity and work on it and do your assignment. If you're a science teacher, that's for biology, chemistry, and physics, you go to the science activity sheet to work on designing your activity sheet. So that's what we're going to be doing for this week. Before we go next week, Saturday, we talk on our lesson plan and how to implement the lesson plan in class. Okay, so thank you so much for staying to the end. Sorry for taking your 30 minutes away, 30 more minutes from you. We apologize. So at this junction, I want us, before we leave, let us have an exit ticket. Yes. Tell me one thing you learned today. That's your exit ticket out of the meeting. Just type. What is the one thing you took from today? Let me see it in the chat box. You need to drop it before you leave. That's your exit ticket. Drop it before you leave. What's the one thing you gained today? Anything you gained today from your group breakout meetings, from anything. That's before you leave. Don't leave without dropping it. Don't leave without dropping. That's your exit ticket. Okay. I see Mr. Olawale. Yes, good. How to implement? Good. You can leave, Mr. Olawale. Thank you for your ticket. Okay, good. I learned how to resubmit. Good. Yes, just in case I need to. Good. To resubmit, just in case you don't like your score, you can go back. Thank you. Incorporating simulations with worksheet. Good. How to navigate Coursera. Good. Okay. So thank you, Zach, for really treating that for over 1 hour, how to navigate Coursera. Thank you so much. A lot of people are really commenting. Getting support from good, to provide resources, good. Ways to implement activity design, how to implement PhET, good. It's an eye-opener for people like me just joining, good. Good. I see your tickets. Good. I had a better explanation on PhET today. We can use, good, from Cynthia, from Nana, from good. It's interactive. Good. Hazan Temitope, thank you. Thank you for dropping exit tickets. Thank you. SIM makes learners to be active in learning, to align objectives with evaluation. Good. How to navigate Coursera. Good. And the simulation. Please make sure you register on the PhET Sim so you have access to resources, because you need those resources in these assignments. Okay. To align objectives. Good. Good. SIM makes learner to be active. Learn how to register. Good. Register on the PhET Sims. Good. Okay. Good. So thank you so much. Very interesting and engaging. Thank you, Mrs. Peters. Thank you, Sadiq. Thank you, how to implement. Thank you, Abimbola. Thank you, Charity. Thank you, Afolabi. Ranti. Thank you so much. So we'll be chatting up on the group. I'm going to leave everyone to rest, maybe for today. Then maybe later in the day, I would open up the group if you have any questions, or later tomorrow we'll open up the group for your questions. How to implement PhET. Good. Thank you so much for staying till this time. You can leave You can leave now. I think I have a lot of exit tickets. What do you think, Zach?
Yes, of course.
Great. Learned
Thank
how
you
to.
so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nathan. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Wonderful weekend ahead of you. Thank you. Good. It was my first time today. I learned how to open PhET account and use PhET. Good. That's from Lucky. James, I hope you fill in your details in the form, in the Google form. See you. Thank you, Cedia. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. As we bring this meeting to an end, Zach.
Yes, thank you so much, and bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye, Daniel. Bye. Bye, Stephen. Magekwe. Bye, Teresia Wajohi.
Wajohi, yes.
Thank you. All right, bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.